President Zelenskyy of Ukraine has turned the tables on Donald Trump. He's saying checkmate. So after it was announced that Donald Trump is working with Putin behind Ukraine's back to take over the Zaporizhzhia nuclear plant that Russia stole during its invasion. And Russia says, Donald, we're going to let you use it for crypto harvesting. Zelenskyy had a very significant message on Christmas Day, delivering utter humiliation to Donald Trump and Vladimir Putin. It is now clear that Ukraine has defeated Russia in the war area around Kupiansk. This is an area that Putin claimed that he was going to be taking over, that he already controlled, but Kupiansk seems to be firmly in control of Ukraine at this point, and the Russian troops there are on the run. Now, Zelenskyy had a very important Christmas Day message for Putin, and seemed very clear to me that this was a message that was also going to be directed towards Donald Trump. And he says to Putin, I hope you die, and I hope you suffer, and I hope that Russia feels and experiences the pain and suffering that you've inflicted on Ukraine. Ukraine will rise. Ukraine will stand strong, and nothing that you and Donald Trump are doing to try to collude to make us surrender is going to have that effect. Let me show you this clip by Zelenskyy in just a moment. Just a reminder. Hit subscribe. We're on our way to 6 million subscribers here at the MeidasTouch YouTube channel. Thanks to your support. You know we're under attack by Trump's DOJ, the Trump regime and state regime media. So please make sure you hit subscribe. Here is what Zelenskyy posted. This was Zelenskyy's message to Putin and to Donald Trump. Play this clip.
We are celebrating Christmas during a very difficult time. Unfortunately, not all of us are able to be home this evening, and sadly, not everyone even has a home. And not everyone, unfortunately, is able to be with us here today. But despite all the immense hardships and tragedies that Russia has brought upon us, it is utterly incapable of occupying or bombing the most vital and essential thing. That is our Ukrainian heart. This is our unwavering faith in one another, and this is our unbreakable unity. And so millions of us across this land will be waiting in the night sky for the very first star to appear. In the skies of Kiev, Zakarpattia, in the skies of Odessa, or Kupiansk, wherever Ukrainians may be, today they celebrate Christmas together on one date as one big family. Today, we all share one dream and we make one wish for everyone. That he would perish, each will say to themselves. But when we turn to God, of course, we ask for something broader. We ask for peace for Ukraine. We are fighting for this, and we are praying for this, and we truly deserve it. For every Ukrainian family to live in peace and harmony, for every Ukrainian child to be happy with their gift, to smile, and to preserve that incredibly important childhood faith in goodness and in miracles. So that the eyes of our children, our parents, our loved ones, our families finally stop crying. May good and truth prevail. May peace be victorious, and may we be. And Ukraine, it was a nation.
Talking more about what Trump and Putin's latest plan is, this was announced by Putin, that the United States and Putin, that Trump and Putin are discussing jointly managing the Zaporizhzhia nuclear power plant without Ukraine's involvement, Putin said. He claims that the U.S. is going to be using it for cryptocurrency mining. And at the same time, Putin said that electricity supplies to Ukraine are also being considered at Washington's initiative. In other words, Putin and Trump want to work to figure out how to shut down electricity to Ukraine and find ways to harvest energy there for Trump to profit off of. Putin added that Ukrainian specialists continue to work at the plant, but now hold Russian passports, but that this will be a Putin and Trump project. I just want you to think about that. That's what's going down right now. So even Kremlin military bloggers are having to acknowledge the significant Ukrainian successes in the Kupiansk direction, and even Russia's own military bloggers are criticizing the Kremlin and the Russian military command for providing false battlefield reports. Sound familiar? Providing false reports? You see, Putin, like Trump, said, we've never been stronger. We're conquering everything. We control the land. When Zelenskyy was at Kupiansk 2 weeks ago, Putin said, that's fake news. That's AI Zelenskyy. He's not really there. As Michael Weiss explains, Putin's receiving bad battlefield intelligence. It might be a boon for Ukraine were it not for the fact that he regurgitate this bad intelligence to Trump's regime, to the credulous Steve Witkoff, who then feeds it to Trump. So here's what we're learning as well. The widespread military blogger criticism within Russia of the Kremlin's and Russia's military command's false and exaggerated claims in Kupiansk further expose how the ongoing Russian cognitive warfare effort, which aims to paint Ukrainian defenses as on the verge of collapse and major Russian battlefield victories as inevitable, does not reflect the battlefield realities. Russian military bloggers also acknowledge that Russia's failure in Kupiansk indicates that Russia does not have sufficient manpower or material to imminently defeat the northern part of the fortress belt, which while simultaneously continuing offensive operations elsewhere. The Institute for the Study of War recently assessed that Russian forces will likely continue to struggle to maintain the Kremlin's desired multi-pronged defensives in different directions due to the long-term material and manpower costs of these simultaneous operations. Russian efforts to start the battle for the fortress belt will likely further stretch Russian resources, and Russia will likely need to deprioritize other frontline sectors in order to concentrate even more forces on the fortress belt area. The Kremlin is therefore making demands in negotiations that Ukraine cede the unoccupied parts of the Donetsk Oblast, likely in order to save Russia the personnel and material resources, and possibly to put Russia in a more advantageous position to reinvade in the future to pursue Putin's longer-term strategic goal of controlling all of Ukraine. So you get what's going on. Russia can't, by military, take this eastern Ukrainian territory. They're struggling. Ukraine has been ingenious in their use of these drones and stopping Russia with these drone swarms that they're doing as well. And the frontline Ukrainian forces have been so brave and so valiant in their efforts, holding the Russian front back and even running counteroffensive.
This episode of the MeidasTouch podcast is brought to you by bookshop.org. You may be watching or listening to our show right now, but are you reading enough? I know I need to be reading a whole lot more. It's time to dive back into books and finally conquer that reading goal you set for yourself this year with bookshop.org. There are so many incredible books out right now to help make sense of this moment, or maybe you just want to escape the political noise and unwind with a good thriller. I just started Dan Brown's new book, The Secret of Secrets, and I am hooked. What makes bookshop.org so special is that it is unapologetically anti-Amazon. When you purchase from bookshop.org, you are supporting local independent bookstores, so they will be here for all of us in the future. In fact, they have already raised over $30 million for local bookstores. You can even choose which store to support, your neighborhood favorite or one from your hometown. I personally love visiting Skylight Books here in Los Angeles and the Last Bookstore in downtown LA, two places that really capture the magic of reading. Start feeling good about where you buy books. Use code MIDAS, M-E-I-D-A-S, to get 10% off your next order at bookshop.org/Midas. That's code MIDAS, M-E-I-D-A-S, to get 10% off at bookshop.org/Midas.
So Russia, especially over the past 48, 72 hours, they've got their envoys in Miami. They've got, Dmitriev meeting with Witkoff. They've pushed out Keith Kellogg, the former envoy, who we said was not long for that job early on because they've assessed him as being someone who would actually advocate for the Ukrainian interests. And now Putin's trying everything, and he's doing, let's make this nuclear deal between Trump and Putin. Donald Trump's got these crypto interests out there to enrich Trump. So Putin's like, you want me to make you a trillionaire, Donald? We'll give you the Zaporizhzhia power plant. You can control all the nuclear. And so here's what Jay in Kiev writes. Putin is conning Trump into thinking he can mine cryptocurrency with one of Ukraine's nuclear power plants that Russia stole during the war. The U.S. is interested in using the Zaporizhzhia nuclear power plant for cryptocurrency mining, and Russia is going to be joint managing the station without Ukrainian participation with Putin and Donald Trump. That's what he's using right now. Now, it should also be noted that during Christmas, Russia did not stop its brutal bombing of civilians in Ukraine, even on the holy Christmas night. Strikes in Odessa killed one person and injured two others. One civilian was killed in the Kharkiv region and another in the Chernihiv region. People were injured in Zaporizhzhia as well. Ukraine's prime minister also points out that mass murder and terrorism is Russian culture in its purest form. She writes, even on Christmas, Russians continue their deliberate assault on Ukraine's civilian population. Over the past day alone, Russian missiles and drones killed civilians in Odessa, the Kharkiv region, the Chernihiv region, and Kherson, with others injured in Zaporizhzhia and Sumy as well. This, as some additional information just became unclassified as well. The U.S. declassified exchanges between U.S. President Bush and Putin from 2008, in which Putin already called Ukraine a, quote, artificial state, denying its right for existence. This is years before the war started and should remind us once again that Putin always wanted to take Ukraine, as the tender count explains. It also says that this war will never end with Putin in the Kremlin. It will go on until he is removed permanently and Russia fully dislodged. Everything else is just noise right now as well. Also, we're learning that the General Staff of the Ukrainian Armed Forces confirmed that they hit a Russian oil refinery in the Novostinsk Rostov using British, French Storm Shadow cruise missiles, as well as Michael McFall, former ambassador, explains. To all the Ukrainian warriors in the trenches tonight on Christmas, defending freedom in Ukraine, Europe, and the world, thinking of you, in awe of you. And by the way, a bipartisan group of Democratic and Republican senators recently put out a statement in the past 24 hours condemning Russia's slaughter of Ukrainians, especially on Christmas, calling Russia the obvious aggressor, the invader. The war crimes are coming from one side, Russia and Russia alone. And so I suppose it's good to see Republicans and Democrats in the Senate at least joining together to make that statement, while Donald Trump was out there saying, oh, you know, Russia wants peace and Putin wants peace. It's up to Zelenskyy. Putin wants peace. Putin doesn't want peace. Putin wants eastern Ukraine to be handed to him. Then he's going to use eastern Ukraine to invade the rest of Ukraine. Then he's going to go after Europe. And right now, fortunately, between Trump and Putin's incompetence and the fact that the authoritarian mindset often means that they surround themselves with the worst of the worst, that actually is slowing down what their intentions are. We'll keep you posted every step of the way, folks. Thanks for watching. Hit subscribe. Let's get to 6 million subscribers.
Love this video? Support independent media and unlock exclusive content, ad-free videos, and custom emojis by becoming a paid member of our YouTube channel today. You can also gift memberships to others. Let's keep growing together.